Hello, in this video we will be downloading and installing Legacy 7 on Windows. So to download we can go to Google and type in Legacy Family Tree or you can go to legacyfamilytree.com website directly. So I'm going to select Legacy Family Tree, and on the site you'll see a button for the standard edition, which is the free download and is the version that we will be using. So after clicking on that, you come to a page that gives you an option to choose from the standard or the deluxe edition. So in this case we're going to continue with the standard, and if you click on the button it will bring you further down the page where there's a small form that you have to fill out in order to download Legacy. So the first option here, to subscribe to Legacy News, which comes out occasionally, I'm going to unselect this option. You can choose to subscribe or not. Then your email address is required. Now, if you have unselected this option, the only email that you will get will be an email regarding your download to the address that you give. All this information here is optional, so I'll skip that and I'm going to type in this verification code 2057 and next step. So this will bring you to the download page. It's about 46 megabytes, which should take about 5 minutes or less on broadband speed. Now if you notice down here, it tells you the password for the setup is Legacy 7. If you close this window while you're downloading, don't worry, you will get a copy of the password by email to the email address you gave in the previous screen. So whenever you click here to download, a box will pop up, and I recommend that you make sure that you are saving to your desktop just so that you can easily find it again. So I've already downloaded it, so I'm going to cancel this here and I will go to the desktop. Now to run the install, just double click the icon that has appeared on your screen. Now you might get a warning asking you to allow this program to make changes to your computer. If you do, just click yes. So Legacy setup will begin and it will pop up a window that you can follow. So just next. Now it will ask you where to install Legacy. So in my case it's trying to install it in the program files on the C drive. It may just try and save it on the C drive, but if you have no preference, just click next at this stage. So Legacy is now installing, and there'll be a small progress bar that will count up to 100, and after we're done we'll have a few more options to configure before actually starting to work in Legacy. And I'll just take this opportunity to say, if you have any problems, don't hesitate to give me an email on at michaelnoon@iol.ie. So now Legacy has installed itself on my computer, and it should pop up now to tell me that it has finished. So just click finish and close. So the first thing Legacy will do is ask you to select a language. So I'll just go ahead and select English United Kingdom because it's the closest to the language I speak. Now, the next thing, Legacy will ask you whether you have purchased the deluxe edition or if you want to use the free. So go ahead and click I want to use the free standard edition of Legacy here, and then click on next step. Now, the next thing it's asking me is if I would like to integrate my family file with Family Search. Now, I'm going to select no because, as it says down here, at the current moment in time, Family Search integration is only available to members of the LDS Church. You will have the option to add it again in future, so I'm going to select no and click on continue. Now, it has some family file options The first one here, and I suggest that you leave this one as it is a date format. So you can select from different date formats, but for I would recommend that you would stick to this format because that is a genealogical standard, and if you get used to that, it's the one that's used by almost everybody on the internet. So the other option that I'm going to change here is this LDS support. So this will allow members of the LDS Church to put in ordinances that they have received. I'm just going to uncheck that because I don't need it on my family file. And finally, allow Legacy to connect to the internet to retrieve Legacy news items. Check for updates. I recommend that you leave that and click next step. So we're going to take it that you haven't entered any information into your family file. What I will do is click on I'm just starting, or it's already selected here, and click on next step. So it will allow you to enter quite a bit of information into this screen, but for the moment I'm just going to enter in one individual, and I'll enter in our fictional John Doherty, who was born on the 1st of the 1st, 1960. And as you notice here, even though I typed in 1/1/1960, it is automatically defaulted to the the version of date that we selected earlier, which is the genealogy standard. And then I will type in Clonsha, Clonmany, County Donegal as the birthplace, or I can type in Ireland as well. So I'm going to leave the rest blank, although as you can see here, I could add a father and a mother or a spouse and the details. So once you have done that, and this step is optional, so you could just create an empty family file, I'm just going to click finished. And once it does that, it's going to ask me where it wants to save it. Now, as we were discussing, Legacy will save its data in its own program folder. I recommend that you change to documents and perhaps even create a folder, say for example called genealogy or family history, within your My Documents or Documents folder, and give the file a name. Now, what I like to use is the same name as the first person that I'll put in here. So that was John Doherty, and I will click save. And that is the family file created. So you might notice a couple of little offers like this popping up. If you click don't show this message again and click close, then that message won't reappear again. And I think that there are about 3 screens of those, and once they pop up they don't come back again, so don't be worried about being plagued by advertising. So now we've got our family file here with John Doherty. On the left, you can see here, it's got male, and on the right, it's got female. So this is a standard in Legacy in the family view, is that a man will appear on the left and a woman will appear on the right. So this is the generation that we're looking at here. If John had children, they would appear in the lower half of the screen, and if he had parents, they would appear just above him here. So I will just go ahead and add a wife so that you can see how to do it. And all I'm going to do is just click in this empty space here, and that will pop up. So I'm going to call this wife Mary O'Donnell, and she's going to be born on the 1st of the 1st, 1961. And she's also going to be born in Clonsha. Now, as you can see, because I've already entered Clonsha before, it's popping up straight away as a potential place for this person. So if I didn't want Clonsha, I could just continue typing. If it was, say for example, Carndonna, I could go ahead and continue with that. But I'm going to just tab from that now, and you can see this folder Clonsha. And I'm going to click save, and that is how you enter a person. and enter a wife. Um, the other thing now is that whenever I've entered the second half of a couple, it will prompt me for marriage information. So I'm going to put in that this couple married in 1985, and this time I'm going to type in Kilmarny, County Donegal, Ireland. Now, if this couple didn't marry, you could select this option. If they had no children, then you can select this option. And if they are no longer married, then you could select that they're separated, divorced, etc. But if they're married, it's recommended just to leave it blank, as it says here. So once that is in, I'm going to click Save. Now, before I click Save, if you notice here, it actually tells you what the ages of both parties were when they got married, which is a nice little feature. So I'm going to click Save, and now you can see that the marriage information has been saved down here. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add a child. So I right click anywhere, or I left click down here anywhere in some blank space and click add a new daughter in this case, and that will pop up a little box much like the one for the spouse, and I will put in a name, and I can put in a date. Now Legacy is very good about its dates. If you knew, for example, you only knew the month, you could just type in June and it would recognize June as a date. If you only knew that it was in a particular year, for example 1986, you're free to put that in. If you knew that it was June 1986, then you can put that in. If you weren't sure of the year, but if you are sure that it was about a certain year, you can just type in about 1986 and that will recognize it as a date. So I'm going to put in about 1986 in Clonsha for this child and click save. So that's how you enter a child in here. And I'll just show you how to enter a parent. Now, above each individual, you have a place for a father on the top and a mother below, and that's the same on both sides. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to enter a father for Mary here. So once I click on that, it gives me an option to add. So I'm going to click add a new person. If the person was already in your legacy, you could click link to an existing person, but I'm just going to click add a new person, and I'm going to call him Patrick. Now I don't have any details other than he was born in Carndona. So I'm going to put in Carndona, County Donegal, Ireland, and I'm going to click save. So now you see Patrick is in, and what I'll do now is I'll add a mother, and the only information that I'm going to put in for her is that her name was Ellen, and that's just to show you how easy it is to enter in information. So again, I'm just going to leave these details blank as if I didn't know it and save. So now you can see that we have 3 generations in. We don't have any parents for John here, but we do have parents for Mary. And to go and view those parents in more detail, I can click on them. That will move them to the middle, and if you notice, Mary is now down as a child down below. If I want to go and see Mary and her family again, I can just click on her and it will bring me down to this. If I want to go and see more detail about Claire, this child that we entered below, I can go and click on her and that will bring her to the middle. And again, that's as simple as it is for moving up and down through generations. Now, once your family file gets big, it will get unwieldy to navigate through your family file just by clicking up and down through generations, especially whenever it gets very wide. So Legacy has a feature called Name List. If you click on Name List, it will bring you up a list of all the people that are in your family file. Now, as you can see here, surname is blinking, and that means now that it's sorted by surname. But if I wanted to sort it by the given name, I can click here, and you can see now it's now sorted by given name. But I'm going to click on surname, and if we imagine that we had a big list here, you can start typing in a name, and it will automatically jump to that surname. So as you can see, when I type in O'Donnell, it will bring me down. If I have a lot of O'Donnells, I can type in a comma and the space and then give a name as well, and that will go down. To select a person from this list, you can either double click them here, or once they're highlighted in blue, you can click select, and that will automatically bring your legacy file to that. So that is our quick introduction to installing legacy and setting up your family file. Thanks.